Welcome everyone to today's call with myself, Michelle Mayur, and my special guest, Joanne Newell, one of the co-authors in my book, Embraced by the Divine, The Emerging Woman's Gateway to Power, Passion and Purpose. And today, Joanne is going to be talking about allowing yourself to receive support. It's a topic that's so incredibly important, especially for women. We're not really good at this. So let me just introduce myself first of all. I'm Michelle Mayur. I'm the compiling author of Embraced by the Divine, and you can find out more about my book at embracedbythedivine.com. I co-create transformational energetic shifts in people, especially women, who are ready to make a bigger difference in the world. And I specialize in assisting women to dissolve limiting beliefs and energetic blockages so they can step fully into their power, passion, and purpose. And the angelic realms and the energies of the divine feminine are strongly present in all of my work. My private healing practice since 1995 is Angel Wings Healing in Melbourne, Australia. And it's angelwingshealing.com, and I see clients around the world through the wonders of Skype and international phone calls. And I'm in this interview series, I'm talking to different co-authors in my book, just so you can get up close and personal with them and find out a bit more about the person behind the story as well. Of course, each chapter in the book is very raw and authentic, and all of the co-authors are not afraid to bare their soul, so they're very vulnerable stories as well. They're really, really juicy, great stories. So that, and it gives me pleasure to be interviewing various co-authors from the book in this interview series. So, just to tell you about Joanne Newell, who I've known for a long time now. Joanne is a compassionate, insightful, practical and fun-loving money mindset coach for enlightened entrepreneurial women. She is the founder of Rich Life by Design. That's Rich, the website is www.richlifebydesign.com. And she hosts one-on-one VIP days with her clients to help them heal their money story and create a rich life by design. Joanne, a former editor of lifestyle books, loves style with substance, living a life that's rich in experiences, beauty and meaning. Her mission is to help other female business owners do exactly the same. She has a husband who's a financial advisor, and she also has 13-year-old twin girls, Arabella and Evangeline, and she's just in the process of moving house at the moment and going up to sunny Queensland to live in Australia. So let Joanne take you by the hand and share with you her many years of personal development, business training and coaching experience to help you design your very own rich life. To start your journey towards a healthy money mindset, you can register for Joanne's free video series called The 3 Foundations of an Empowered Money Mindset. And you can do that at her website, therichlifebydesign.com. So, Joanne, welcome to the call.
Hello, Michelle. Thank you so much for having me on today, and hello to everyone listening.
So, Joanne, you have your chapter. It's called Back to Health, which is a really good name for the chapter, as people will certainly find out when they read the chapter. And obviously today it's not about giving away all the contents of the chapter. We do want people to read the whole book. It's sort of whetting people's appetites for what the book contains. So, can you tell me a little bit about the theme of your chapter, Joanne, that you've written for Embraced by the Divine?
Yes. I don't know why, but I've obviously chosen health as a challenge for me when I came into this incarnation. So I have, had back problems from a young age, and it manifested into a very serious back problem in my 30s when I had young children, when my girls were much younger. And that, was an incredible experience. I would go through it thinking, why me? Why is this happening to me? I just can't believe it's come to this. And I know other people have often had health issues like that as well. And it's like, if you're at a certain level of consciousness, you do realise that there has to be deeper meaning in what's happening for you. So it just elevated my consciousness even more deeply and made me appreciate my life even more than I did, I have to say, which is always a good side benefit you have something like this happen.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, just basic. Go on.
I was just going to say, I presume you've read Louise Hay's book and what she says about the back, and the back is about allowing support, and it depends what area of the back that you're having issues in as to where you're not allowing support, whether it's financial or emotional or so on. So did you feel that connection that you weren't allowing support in your life when you were having all these back issues?
Absolutely. And I had been a fan of Louise's, for a few years leading up to that, but I suppose this was putting into practice for me, in a very real-life way, what she had taught through that book. So, because it had been an ongoing issue with my back, I knew, this is about support from the universe, not trusting. And so when it happened in a big way, it was a real wake-up call as to, okay, this is my time to be allowing myself to receive and also trusting in the universe. Because if you're not allowing yourself to receive, then it's probably because you don't trust in the universe that you will actually get anything. That you'll be let down.
Why do you feel that you were finding it so hard to receive support?
I think, there probably was, the journey that I'd chosen to take when I was born was to challenge this and to grow through it. But I think, and part of that was having chosen a family where, my mum was very much a just get on and deal with it sort of person, very practical and, does everything. Like we didn't really have to help out with housework. She had 4 children. We didn't really have to help out with housework and things. So I saw her just doing so much for other people. Having said that, she was quite good at giving back to herself in terms of sitting quietly and reading, and she was always busy sewing and knitting and doing things she enjoyed, but it was still doing to me. So she's very much a doer. And so I suppose I had that example of you just get on with it, you work hard, and, money doesn't grow on trees.
Yes, we've all had that one, haven't we? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I think that there wouldn't be too many people of our age who didn't hear that throughout their childhood when they were, wanting to expand and experience all of the things that they were drawn to in life, and then to be told, no, there's a limit. We can't do it. Basically the underlying message being our level of consciousness at this point is not taking us to that, so we can't model that for you. So I think a lot of us grew up with that, and that's just the way it was, and that was the way for their parents and the parents before them. It's a generational thing.
Yeah,
so I think we're coming into a different age of awareness. Not everybody has, and some people are, got it a century ago, but many of us are just coming to it now. So for me, it was really just having the veil pulled back and knowing that that's what I had to work on, but to have it just hit you in such a hard way with a very bad back problem was not good. So I think the reason I found it so hard was because of that modelling and because I was resisting trusting.
Yeah, that's interesting, isn't it? The resisting trusting. So trusting in what way?
I think trusting, it's interesting because I've always had the belief that things always work out for the best in the end, but I still think you can have an upper limit as to how good life can get. And I think that's what I was bumping up against. That I didn't believe I could probably, subconsciously, that I could probably go further or receive more than I felt perhaps that I deserved at that time. Okay,
so do you feel that your family, for instance, was there ready to support you, say, in practical ways when you had your back issue, or financial ways, or other ways?
Yeah.
Do you feel that was there?
Did. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, my parents were not here, but they live interstate. But my gran was here, and she was very supportive. And I know when my girls were born, my mum actually, she's a teacher, and she took 10 weeks long service leave to come down to Melbourne to be with me. She would stay at my gran's and come over every day and just, go in and start washing up straight away when she came in, and because she's such a doer. And she'd sit and hold one baby while I held the other, because I always wanted them to have lots of cuddles. So terribly supportive in that way. I really felt very supported there. So I suppose the back issue for me was more about my own letting myself receive support in other ways as well, and which is what I started to do, because I had to rely on strangers, like people I didn't really know very well, like kindergarten parents who would pick up the girls and take them to kinder because I couldn't drive after a certain point, and keep them playing at, their children's house after kinder until Darren picked them up from work. I mean, that just felt like, you can't do that to people, that's asking too much. They're not family, they're not obligated to do it.
I had that kind of experience after I had pneumonia, and that nearly took me out. That was one of my two near-death experiences, and I had to rely on people to pick up my daughter from school because I couldn't move. I was just way too sick, and look after her and feed her and do all sorts of things because I just couldn't be there for her. So I get how difficult that can be when you're used to being a really independent kind of woman who, who's a coper, who can do it all herself. And,
and you know what that is? That's the masculine, isn't it? That's the masculine, go, do it, I can do it, I'm fine. And I think things like this, like illness and where we have to rely on other people, is giving us that chance to tap into the feminine and being fully supported in a different way.
And something I discovered too when I had the pneumonia, when I was recuperating from that, was that my family still loved me regardless of whether I was doing stuff or not. Like just the fact that I was there and being was fine. They still loved me. I didn't have to earn their approval by being busy. And that, I think, is something that's quite an interesting lesson for a lot of women. So was that something that you found as well, that it didn't matter whether you were cooking the dinner or not, or, running the kids to school, that they still just loved you as mum regardless?
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. And I think another gift out of this for me was the gift for others, because I think what I learned is that there is love in giving, which is what we do. We give, we do for others. But there's also love in receiving, because those people that you're giving to are receiving with love. So there's an equal level of energy and vibration about you receiving love. And so in my case, I feel like I gave my husband and my girls the opportunity to experience that profound pleasure of giving and of being loving and considerate and of looking after me, which they didn't get to do in the same way because I was such a doer and a get-on-with-it kind of person. So that was actually a real gift for them. And so I made sure that I really appreciated it and let them know how, lovely it was that they'd done me a beautiful welcome home banner, and that, Darren moved the bed out into the living area so that I could be amongst the family and not locked away while I was recovering, because I could either stand or lie. I couldn't sit for 6 weeks, I think. Yeah, so that was profound for me, that it meant I gave them a chance to give. Because if we're constantly giving, we're not being, in reciprocity. We're not letting it funnel back the other way.
Exactly. We're just burning out energetically.
Yeah,
but,
exactly.
There's something that's an interesting idea, and I'll just run this past you. A lot of women are, that want to be valued as equal with men in a sort of a masculine kind of way, as you said, with that, I can do it kind of attitude, do, give, that kind of thing. And they don't want to appear to be, weak, like the weaker sex. So for some people, there can be that sense of, well, if they allow themselves to receive support, doesn't that mean that they're actually diminishing their own power as females in accepting or, receiving support? So is that...
Yeah,
I think
that's how it's actually... Sorry?
Yeah, no, I was just going to say, is that a reason that you feel that some women are so reluctant to actually allow support because they don't want to go back into that stereotype of, the weaker sex?
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that's the way it's been sold to us, isn't it? It's almost retro, that kind of thinking, but we still live by it. We still, and culturally, feel that pressure that, it looks as though you're wimpy or, weak. And it's so not. I mean, being vulnerable and is actually, as we know from Brene Brown's work, it's actually a form of strength. Like to be able to be in that recipient mode or vulnerable is a strength, because otherwise, you'd be putting up a front. So
yeah, that's right.
I actually see, I think it's a balance. I don't think you'd want to be in that mode all the time. I think it is whatever works for you personally. And I feel like women need to be a bit more in that feminine side than the masculine. I think it has its own power, and it's just a different... men have like 14 times the amount of testosterone that we have. So, of course, they've got the energy to push, and we can do that to an extent, but, we can step back into a different form of feminine power and be just as powerful, but in a different way.
Exactly. We don't have to be powerful by emulating men. We are powerful and beautiful in our own way as females. And it's
exactly,
neither one is better than the other in terms of males or female. It's basically that both have their own beauty and their own ways of being in their power. And together they blend perfectly.
Yeah, and I think we need to keep promoting that as how it can be for women, and just to try it out.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's one of the reasons that my book, too, Embraced by the Divine, in which you're the co-author, is targeted towards women, because it's designed, rather than having stories which could apply to men or women, it's very much about helping women to step into and own their power as females, and to use their strengths as females, in bringing in the energies of the divine feminine and so on, so that we don't have to be out there pretending to be males dressing in pinstripe business suits, for instance. So I just wanted to talk to you too that, we've been talking so far predominantly about you receiving support in relation to health, but are there other ways too that we need to be aware of allowing ourselves to receive support? What other forms of support are there that we should be mindful of receiving?
Yes, well, for me, and what's become a big part of my work, is us receiving financially, because money is energy, and often, that was what the big thing was for me. Of course, we talked about the back and what it represents, and often that can refer to financial support, that I didn't believe that I deserved it or that I could receive financial support. So that wake-up call was a realisation for me that there has to be more trust and more allowing of what I desire financially and otherwise to come in. So my work now is, it's a blend of masculine and feminine, because I believe you need both to get, if you're a female business owner at least, you have to have masculine structures set up and to be able to get your message out into the world and that sort of thing. But you also have to honour who you are as a woman and having that feminine receptive energy, and allow the money in and believe that you deserve it. So it's also about allowing yourself to be financially supported. And sometimes, and this is, controversial, it doesn't have to be coming from you. Things can just come to you. And even if you have, a partner supporting you for a certain period of time, that's okay as well. I know some women are like, I don't want to rely on a man. If they're starting a business, I don't want anything from my partner, to help me along. It's like, well, maybe that's meant to be for you for that period of time to get you started or to get you out in the world, if that's the situation that you're in, if you have a partner who can help you with that. So it can come in many forms, but I'm about empowering women, of course, to do it for themselves, but in a feminine way.
Yeah, so would you say that your experiences with your back, which were obviously very dramatic, actually had the blessing within them, that you really focused on the whole issue of support and how to bring support forth into the world, for yourself in terms of both financial support and health support as well? Because it seems like that it's almost been like an inspiration. You've almost turned the whole back thing into your inspiration for the work that you're now doing in terms of financial support for women, or allowing women to tap into receiving financial support both from externally and also from partners and so on, if that's relevant.
Yes, exactly. And it may not have been that way. I mean, someone else may have gone through a similar experience, but it's not been in their calling to take that experience and to turn it into what I have. They may have incarnated into a different form of uplifting the world and uplifting their own lives, but that's just what I felt guided to do after this experience, to explore it more deeply for myself and then to help others. I've always felt like communication is part of my gift to the world, having been, a writer and book editor and, getting messages out to the world, that this is what I was meant to do with this message as well, get it out to the world and help those who I'm meant to help.
Absolutely. Well, look, it's been lovely chatting to you, Joanne. And I've just mentioned, too, that you did an amazing job, too, doing some of the preliminary editing of Embraced by the Divine. You are a multi-skilled lady. And, yes, your efforts with Embraced by the Divine in terms of editing, not only in writing your chapter but also in editing the book, were very, very valued. So thank you. And that was about me too, allowing myself to receive support from you. So that was it was an interesting journey in itself, and I think we both benefited because from you editing the book to start off with, and there've been other edits since, but yours was the initial edit, that you have now gone into a side branch of your business where you're actually putting publishing packages together for people, which include editing. And I know because I've been to one of the book launches of one of the packages that you helped this lady put together to get her book out, and it's a beautiful book too. So, yeah, it's amazing where these things can take us.
I know. Well, it's all part of that mission. It's something I just kept getting, just even being asked to be in your book, and there were other things coming to me, and having been an author myself, and people kept asking me about it, and I realised, I've been along this entrepreneurial journey myself. I've got all this experience in online marketing and coaching and all the editorial and publishing experience and marketing experience, and I love books and I love the production of books, so this is another way to help women build their businesses and create more money for themselves. So they get sort of the money mindset as well as getting that marketing item and transformational item out into the world in the form of a book. So I'm just thrilled to be adding that as a service to what I do. I just absolutely love it.
Yeah.
Actually, if people want to have a look at that, they can go to richlifebydesign.com/write, as in WRITE hyphen that, THAT hyphen book. And that will take them to a page that gives more information. If they, keep getting the nudge themselves that there's a book they need to write that will, is based on their journey and will promote their business for them as well.
Excellent. Well, it's been a pleasure having you on today, Joanne, and I think it's probably time that we wrap the call up for now. So it's been an honour having you as part of Embraced by the Divine. Your contribution has been very, very, very valued, and it's an exciting journey now unfolding for all of us as the book comes out very, very soon, coming out on Kindle on the 10th of December, coming out on softcover on the 21st of January. So for now, it's great. It's all really exciting. We're really at the pointy end of the stick now. So thank you, everyone, for listening to today's call, and it's bye from me. And bye from Joanne.
Thanks so much. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone. Bye.
Are you there, Michelle?